Hi, and welcome to the OCDPro podcast. My name is Christine, and I'm a professional organizer and OCD specialist. I created my business, OCD, Organising, Cleaning and Decluttering Specialist, 9 years ago from my love and obsession with organising, cleaning, decluttering and downsizing. Through this podcast, I would like to share with you advice and tips and tricks I pass on to my clients, along with conversations I have with other OCD enthusiasts and experts. You can also find the Pink Sheep Tales series right here. Each episode of Pink Sheep Tales, you will hear the true life story of an inspiring child or adult who is following their passion, all in the name of living their best life. I hope each episode brings you inspiration, information, and a little giggle. Now, let's get to it. Here's this week's episode. Hi everyone, and welcome to season 2 of OCDPro. We've had a little bit of a break, but it's been really great checking out all other organising ideas and interviewing new Pink Sheep people who will be bringing you in the new year. So super exciting. I'm really excited for my first guest for this year because she's a great friend and someone I've met socially and who's now become a fantastic team member with the OCD team, and she's one of my great organising specialists, and her name's Cello. Some of you might have already met her or seen her on her Facebook page. So I'm really excited because I know she has a fantastic passion for organising, like we all do. So, hey Cello.
Hello.
How are you going?
I'm good.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah. Bit of a break?
Yeah.
I know you had a busy end of the year.
Yeah, it was
super busy.
Run to the finish line. But yeah, it was good.
It is good.
Yeah.
So thank you for inviting me to your home today. You've been telling me all about your great organising solutions for your home, and I've been dying to get out here. So we've done it today, and we've spent a few hours getting around, learning all about your little tips and how you came to need to figure out these new tips for different spaces. So would you like to just give us a quick rundown of the layout of your home? And then we'll go on, and in this episode we'll focus on your kitchen. Yeah. Because there is 1,000,001 great organising tips that you've come up with there.
Yeah. Okay. My house is a really long and narrow. So it's a 2-bedroom house with a sunroom, and the kitchen is towards the backyard, so it's like furthest away. But that's the main entry we head on in. So when we park all the way down in the garage, that's where we head through the back door into our kitchen. So our kitchen, I say it's small, but it's not small. And what I mean by that is that it's quite a decent sort of square footage, but the storage in it is terrible, and there's not a lot of cupboard space or traditional, I think, spaces for things where your dishes usually live or drink, glassware, I guess. There's no cupboards above cupboards.
Above the bench tops.
Yes, yeah. Nothing like that. I have a really large window, which the sink faces out that way. There's literally just under the sink area, and then there's 3 drawers to the right, and I'm like, is that it? This is what you find in a camper van. And then there's the pantry, and the pantry is kind of a little weird as well. It's a corner one. So this is a very old style house. It was built in the 1920s. So it's got a lot of character, that's what I love. But at the same time, I've had to, kind of think, well, where do I store this thing, I think that's what forced me into sort of organising, because when I first moved in here, I was so stressed out and like, I don't know where to put things, because where do I put my drinking glasses, and where do I put my food processor, and that sort of thing. So that's where that kind of came from.
Yeah, so we'll pop some photos up on the Facebook page as well, so people, as we're going through and explaining your ideas, they'll be able to see the spaces and the actual items that you've used to get this all looking so fabulous. And as we were going through your house, the one thing that it just kept popping to my mind is everything is so functional but ornamental. It all looks so cute. Like, it's gorgeous. It all fits to the era and fits to your personality. And so organized, it just shows to be organized isn't just about everything in boxes or you can really make it ornamental and part of the decoration of your home. Yeah. So we first walk into your kitchen, and we've got the fridge on the right, and then the pantry up to the back right hand corner, and then your bench over on the left with the sink and everything. Yeah. And so one of the first things you showed me was under your sink. Yeah. One of your moments.
So the bin's under the sink.
I think there's something else as well.
Yeah. But the first one that we had took up a lot of room, and it wasn't functioning like, it was a pedestal one. So, and that just wasn't working because of the large sink underneath. So, switch that one out for like on the door one. So that functions so great that I don't have to, stick my foot in there to lift the lid. But the lid didn't even lift up anyway. But the one that's on the door, you just open the door and it's on the door. So that was great. But then on the other side, that's where my dish rack is. And I guess the story with that is, like, because I don't have much kitchen bench space, I can't just leave a rack. I think in our last house, we had a lot of kitchen bench space, and I just left the rack on the bench, which it just lived there. And, but because I hardly have any kitchen bench space, I need that space to do like cutting vegetables and meal prep. And I can't have a rack that lives there. So I'm like, I need a place, a home, and usually under the sink is, I guess, the most logical area. But what I was frustrated is because we have such a deep sink, and then another tap underneath there that sticks out. I couldn't find a conventional dish rack that would fit under there, and I tried like looking at ones that were collapsible dish racks, but they wouldn't fit in because of the height or because of this silly tap that's under there, and it was just so frustrating. So lots of hunting, lots of researching, and I finally found one that just folds completely flat. But then when you would slide it in, it would sort of tip over and get caught on the tap. Just things like that, things that were so annoying to pull out and put back. And then that's when I think I was in Howard's storage, and I wasn't looking for anything in particular. And then I was passing the bathroom section. It had one of those clips that holds the shower heads that like
the hose ones.
The hose ones, yeah. So you pull out your hose shower thing, use it, and then put it back, and it holds that clip. And I thought, wait a second, I could use that, and that's going to hold my dish rack in place. And then, I thought, oh, this may not work. But it was like pretty cheap. So thought I'd give it a crack, and then I bought it, took it home, and I stuck it on the wall, and then popped my flat dish rack in, and it fits beautifully.
It does.
And that's when I had a moment like, oh my god, I am a genius. And it just fits in there beautifully. And I had to find a tray that like holds all the water underneath the dish rack, so that fits in there nicely as well. I have these moments where I'm like, when it fits so good, I'm like, this is right.
It feels so great. It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
And one thing that you've been, as we're going through, saying how important measuring is.
Yes.
To really make sure, because sometimes you can think something fits, and then you get home like, oh, whoopsie. And then even just to not just make things easier, but just to save trips going back to the shops or
Right.
anything as well, measuring,
Yeah.
just so you know what space you're working
A
with.
rookie error I did back when I first started like I found these beautiful jars, like food storage jars, and I thought, oh, these look beautiful, and I just bought a whole heap, and they didn't fit the shelf inside the pantry. They were too tall, and I was like, well, that was a silly mistake that I did. I didn't measure, so I had to take them back, and then had to find ones that would fit. So that was a really important lesson in measuring. So,
Yeah, because sometimes like I'll go, oh, I'm pretty sure I know that'll fit, and it's like hit and miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, measuring is very important.
Yeah.
So then when we moved from under the sink, we went over to your utensils drawer.
Yeah.
And what have you done in there?
So the utensils drawer that lives under the cutlery drawer, I couldn't fit everything in there, but so I keep all the ones that I mostly use just out near the stovetop, and then the other ones that was just sort of like flailing around inside, and it was kind of like it just gets all messy and you can't find anything. So I actually bought another cutlery drawer, and then things just sort of fit quite nicely in their little homes. Everything's got like a little place.
So sometimes there are special trays for the utensils drawers, but I find sometimes they're too wide and it's not really organising as much as you've done with the utensils drawer.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yes, I think we should mention about your utensils that sit above your oven because they are so cute. You've got them in like a little old-fashioned milk crate with jars inside, and then all your little spatulas together and
all my wooden spoons together.
it looks so cute, and again functional and ornamental.
Yes,
love it. And before we go on to the pantry, which is a treasure trove of organising, spectacular, your cutting board, how have you stored those in a drawer?
So the last drawer in my kitchen's a deeper one, and that's where it holds all like my frying pans and saucepans, but it was like the only place where I could find where the cutting boards could live. And again, I was getting frustrated because you open the drawer and all the cutting boards would just slide over on top of everything and just creates noise, and it's like I can't reach for my frying pans easily. And then I had a moment like I just need something so they can sit in, so they stand right up. And I think I can't remember where I got it from, but I saw a napkin holder, and it's basically a U shape. And I thought, I wonder if that will fit next to like the frying pan. I had to do my measuring, and then found out that it could fit. So I popped it in there. I think I even have like blue tack underneath the napkin. Blue tacked it to the bottom of the drawer just so that it doesn't slide everywhere. And then popped my cutting boards, vertically inside the napkin holder, and it all fit. And it was another moment where I'm like, I am a genius. Now bring all your global warming troubles to me. I'll solve them.
I think it's awesome too. And it's just looking at things from a different perspective, isn't it? Having a bit of a creative mind to think, well, it's a napkin holder, but what else could it do? And now it's solved a fabulous problem.
Yeah, using things that aren't, I guess, that are not intended for that purpose. Yeah.
So then we move on to the pantry.
Yes.
Da, 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 da. So when you first moved in? How were you going with the pantry?
Oh my goodness.
What's the situation there?
Oh, it was terrible because it's a corner pantry, but there's built-in shelves and they're awkward. They're all awkward mishmash shelves. And I was keeping, all my food items were, I guess, in the main sections, but it was literally piling things on top of things because there's sort of like a main area with all the all this vertical space above it, I guess. And then all the stuff underneath was getting thrown in as well. And these were things like pressure cookers and slow cookers, and things were getting piled on top of other things, and it was just anytime you'd open the door, it would just stress me out. And like to find things, you had to sort of dive underneath, and like things would go off because I didn't know what I had and I couldn't see what I had. And or you'd buy duplicates. You know, I didn't know I had a packet of sugar in there, and now I've got 2 packets.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It was just other things like shelves that were more higher, and there's like stacks of bottles, say like bottles of oils, and trying to get the right one. You know, you'd have to take down the first couple of rows to get to the row that was at the back, and it was just a big pain to, you know, get what you want easily. Yeah.
So how did you solve these problems?
I got inspired a lot by Alejandra. So she's a professional organizer, and she has her own YouTube series, I think Alejandra.tv, I think.
Yeah.
And I just like binge watched all her videos and just got inspired. So one of the things that she has in her pantry are Lazy Susans. And I think she had a Lazy Susan for like her oils, one for vinegars, one for like supplements and that sort of thing. And she had I think a regular conventional pantry, like a rectangular one, but it was just easy to like spin the wheel and find what you need and grab it and go. And I thought I could use that, you know. And so for the shelf that's sort of higher up where all my oils and vinegars are, I can fit 2 Lazy Susans there. And I have oils on one, vinegars on the other, and I can just spin them and find the one that I like or that I need. And I don't have to like be shuffling through, and so it's just so convenient and easy.
Yeah. You had to modify it a little bit.
A touch,
Yeah, but that's another thing. Like if something doesn't quite fit, how can you make it fit?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not too hard to modify things.
Yeah.
And perfect.
Yeah, so the 2 bases wouldn't fit. So I had to just cut a touch out of one. But then, they both spin beautifully.
Yeah. And I think, did you say you got those in Howard's?
I got those in Howard's storage.
Yeah. So it's great now that like Kmart and Target and all the cheapy shops do knockoffs of all these great organising things.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to invest a little bit more into like say something like that where
I think
you were saying it just spins so smoothly.
I think do your research, because like 8 years ago I got a cheap one and it was terrible. It wouldn't spin. And then I thought, the Howard Storage one's so expensive, but I'm glad I bought it then. But I have a feeling like I saw them in Kmart the other day, and they look identical, and they might be identical.
Yeah,
so
they could be.
I think do your research and go to your cheap shops, but go to your expensive ones, and then kind of like try before you buy.
And see if a little bit more investment up front will save you in the long run.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so you were saying as well that you could see you had a lot of vertical space in the pantry. So how have you utilised that?
So I have things stuck to the walls or hooks, so that I can hang things or store things on the wall rather than on shelves. Things like the bin liners, freezer bags, extra aprons and tea towels are in like a basket that's stuck to the wall there. And your little the plastic bag holder that you made in year 8, was it? In home ec class.
Yes. Super cute. Hanging on the wall there.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. The Lazy Susans are such a great idea in the pantry, and it's very similar to, how they make modern kitchens and they'll have a corner cupboard and it'll come out and it'll have like a little Lazy Susan in there just to utilise all that space and make it easy to get to there. But a great thing is, like you were saying, you're not buying doubles of things, you're using what you have, so everything's staying fresh. And you said you have a little routine where at the end of the month, is it? You go through the pantry. So what do you do?
Okay. So I have I give myself like little routine checklists, and I have a monthly one.
Yes.
And so on that one there's things like go through the fridge, go through the pantry, and that's a good time to like sort of pull things out and give the bench space or shelves like a bit of a wipe down too. So and I look for the expiry dates, and if something's sort of due to expire, I'll go, okay, well, we're having lentils for dinner, so we can use those up, and it just saves from food going to waste, which was so easy to do back before I was organised.
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually one of the services with the premium housekeeping that OCD does. We'll do that. We'll go through fridges like weekly or fortnightly, whichever everyone's appointment is, just to keep on top of things. Because it's really important, because you don't want to be buying double ups of everything. You want to be utilising what you have. And you're actually going to start composting, aren't you? Yes, so that might be another podcast we could do. See how you're going with your composting.
Yes.
Because I've just started it too.
Yeah,
so that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Now, I just remembered something else that was in your pantry. Your little onion baskets.
Yeah.
Yes. They're super cute.
Yeah, they are super cute.
Yeah. So they're perfect size, because it's just yourself and your husband here. So you don't need one of those. Although they're beautiful. You know how you can get the timber ones. Yeah. And it's like 2 or 3 shelves, and they sit outside your pantry. They look lovely.
Yeah.
Or the wire ones, but they're a bit big.
They're huge.
So you found these cute little ones.
Yeah. So when I was like trying to search for like onion storage or potato storage, there was always like really big options, and I'm like, I need just something small, and so and something that's sort of like I can still access it as well. And I looked at that sort of vertical storage that I had in the corner there, and I came across these baskets, and I'm not sure what they're actually intended for, but I thought these could work. And they're sort of open in one end, and they stack on top of each other, and I just thought what would look cute and sort of like kind of farmhouse-ish is to put some hessian at the bottom of them. And it also keeps from like onion peels and that, like, from going through, and which is sort of like a happy accident.
It's so cute. So cute. Everything you've been telling me about your kitchen is just fabulous. I'm so glad I've seen it now, because it really is like your home is so beautiful, and just being able to have it organized and using everything to the best of its potential is just so clever. And you've got many other tips in the kitchen, but they're like my favorite ones. I thought we should share those. And there are lots of things people could use in their own spaces. Like, doesn't have to be kitchen, could be bathrooms or bedrooms or wherever they've got tight little spaces. And I was saying, tiny houses, you'd be fantastic advising with tiny houses. So see what we can do there. I think that's everything for the kitchen. So our next podcast, we're going to do bathroom and laundry, and then a bedroom one. So everyone will have to stay tuned next week to find out what was all your fabulous tips for bathroom and laundry. And then the following week will be the bedroom.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Cello.
Oh, you're so welcome.
We'll sign off now and wish everyone a good week. Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you really enjoyed this week's episode. Let me now invite you to pop over to Facebook and find my page, OCD, Organising, Cleaning and Decluttering Specialist, and the Pink Sheep Tales podcast group to stay up to date with all things OCD and the latest news from our pink sheep. I hope you have a fantastic day, and until our next podcast, enjoy yourself.